and welcome back to Aviary Attorney. I'm Karma and I will be your friend and host this evening. Last time we continued investigating for our case. We talked to many new different people and we also learned that our Juan may not truly be who he says he is. A prince. Juan Querido. Is that what you said? Monsieur, I think you've been misinformed. There is no current prince of Spain, and I am not even sure Querido is a real name. We also met an elephant who owns a chocolate shop and won't shut up about his amazing life stories. It's a funny story, you see. When I was a young boy, I befriended the son of a Hungarian attorney. We don't give a shit. And now we're gonna continue their investigation. So let's get right to it. A new day. Let's go, La Conciergerie. The word I cannot pronounce.
You again? Visiting hours are over. Come back later.
I have no time for quibbling, monsieur. Stand aside. Oh, wow.
You can't talk to me like that.
I most certainly can. We have reason to believe that you are housing a suspect under false pretenses. That is in direct violation of statutes 204B and 488C of the French Criminal Code of Justice. Failure to comply with a request may result in you, yes, you, monsieur, being held directly responsible for any consequential legal action.
All right, no need to break out the legalese on me. I'll go open a cell.
Open the cell.
Wow, Falcon, how did you memorize those criminal codes?
Memorize? Come on, Sparson, learn how to bluff. Oh, great. There's loud as music again. Ah, Senor Falcon, it is so good to see you again. You have some good news about my case, I hope. Who the fuck are you, bitch? Confront politely or confront angrily? Angrily. Drop the act, Juan. You fed me a string of lies at our previous meeting and I don't appreciate having my time wasted. You appear upset, senor. Of course I'm upset. You hired me to defend you and then made every effort to sabotage your own case. Tell me, what's your real name? Why, senor, it's Juan Querido, of course. If you want your trial to be a farce, then you don't need my help. Come, Sparson, we're leaving. Wait. Calm yourself, Monsieur Falcon. I'll reveal all. Good. Yes, having balls works out half of the time.
Did you just say, monsieur? What happened to your Spanish accent?
Oh no. Where the fuck are you from? Oh my god. Great. New voice for our Juan. Your suspicions are well placed. Juan Querido is not my real name, and I am not a Spanish prince. That was just a persona I concocted for the purpose of getting arrested. So what is your real name? What's in the name? It's just an empty label. Oh my god, what is this act? I'm so sorry. A vapid reflection of who we really are. Today I am Juan Querido, the Prince of Spain. Tomorrow I may be Bruno Reyer, a pauper living under a bridge in Seine. But that doesn't change who I am or what I do. That didn't really answer my question. So, no. Oh, sorry. No, I suppose it didn't. But you're a smart bird, Monsieur Falcon. I suspect that you already know my real name. You are Renard Volpe, private investigator. Very astute. And you're Monsieur Falcon, private defense attorney. But that wasn't always your name, was it, Monsieur Falcon? Just like me, you know how to adopt a new person on a whim. What the fuck?
You changed your name, Falcon? I didn't know that.
This isn't about me. Juan, oh my god, does Falcon have a dark past or something? Juan, Renard, Monsieur, we're trying to uncover the truth here. Of course. So, what truth is it that you're attempting to uncover, Monsieur Falcon? Why would you get arrested? Why would you want to get arrested? You're putting me in a difficult position, Monsieur. If I tell you the full story, I would be putting someone else in danger. How about this? I'll tell you a story.
I like stories.
Yeah, okay. There was a girl, a mademoiselle, who was in a great deal of debt. Everyone has debt these days, monsieur. Indeed, but this particular mademoiselle was indebted to a very powerful man, and that man wished to collect. Is this the story that he told the swan about? Because she said, we discussed about how everyone seems to be in debt these days. Maybe it was more than just a conversation. That mademoiselle had no means of paying, so the man offered her a deal. Murder this man and I will forget what you are owed. Refuse and I will reap what I am owed from your parents. With no alternative options, the mademoiselle accepted. But another man, a gallant knight with foolish, archaic notions of chivalry, heard the mademoiselle's story. The knight knew that murder was inevitable, but he saw a way to take the fall in the mademoiselle's place. Do you understand what I'm saying, monsieur? Is this from Don Quixote? I have no idea what you're on about. To be honest, I'm completely lost. That's unfortunate. I thought I made the message fairly clear. Well, it doesn't matter. Let me give you a piece of advice, Monsieur Falcon. Sometimes the problem doesn't lie with the one on trial. Sometimes the problem lies within the justice system itself. I'm still lost.
Me too.
I think I get it. You took the fall for someone else. Mon Dieu, this is hopeless. Why don't we talk about something else? Jesus. I don't have any more questions for you, Han. I think we've learned all we can for now.
Really? I don't feel like we've learned very much.
Oh, Monsieur Falcon, before I forget. Could you find Mousy and ask him whether the birds have successfully flown south for the winter? Whether the birds have flown south? What is that, some sort of code? Something like that, but rest assured, Monsieur, that this does directly pertain to the case. Well, if we have time, I'll be sure to let Mousy know. Let's make a move, Sparrowson. Trial day's approaching.
Right.
Once again, Falcon and Sparrowson find themselves waiting outside the doors of the Tribunal of the Grand Instance.
Are you feeling nervous, Falcon?
Yes. Of course I'm nervous. What we have learned about Prince Juan? What do we know about the trial murder? Nothing.
Easy there, Falcon. We can do this.
Can we? Can we really? Senor Falcon, I trust everything is in order. Absolutely. I have every intention of bringing the truth to light in this trial. Ah, such confidence. That's magnificent to see. And bringing the truth to light, you say? An admirable goal. No more jousting at imaginary giants.
All of you cease your yammering. The door's opening.
Here we go. Buena suerte, Senor Falcon. We will. Will we?
Are we ready?
We're ready. Oh, great. JJ. Severin? Nervous? Why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm as calm as a cuckoo. You're the one nervous one. This whole courtroom is nervous.
Wow, cull your feathers, Falcon.
Terrible. You can't even maintain a stoic facade. I thought this trial would be the perfect opportunity for you to redeem your previous embarrassments. But if this is how you act before the trial has even started... Why, you pompous, stale, posture perfect... Oh, what in the world? What is this? Quick, someone! This person has eaten the judge! Order, order, let's all settle down. Court is now in session.
Psst. Falcon.
What is it?
The mirror does the primary judge look hairier today?
That's a different judge to the one who resided over Dame Cuddlin's trial, you doofus.
Oh, still a little strange, isn't it?
Yes. It is a little, I suppose. Excuse me, Your Honor. I was under the impression that Judge Maxime would be residing over this case. Where is he? Dead in his chambers, clearly. Judge Maxime has gone on temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. Oh my god. With a flight of stairs. But rest assured, us assessors, prosecutor, defense, and members of the jury, that I am more than qualified to fill his shoes. Without further ado, let's get the show underway. This is the trial of Prince Juan Querido, who stands accused of murdering Major Hal and of conspiring to murder the king himself. Roll call. The defense is present and ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Good. Very good. I'm sorry. I expect this to be a nice, speedy trial. I don't want to see this dragged out by technicalities and bureaucracy. Well said, Your Honor. I expect that once the court sees the overwhelming evidence, this trial will be over in 5 minutes. 5 minutes?
He's just messing with your head, Falcon. Keep it together.
So, we're all on the same page? Excellent. Prosecutor, please call your first witness to the stand. Very well. I call the police officer who investigated the crime scene. I call upon Inspector Hughes Volanti. Step up to the stand, Inspector, and recite the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Please recite your name and occupation for the court record. My name is Inspector Hughes Volanti. I am a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I am... That will do, Inspector. We've all heard your monologue before.
Wow, Kakariko really is going for a speed record, isn't he?
Now, can you tell us what you witnessed on the morning of the 7th of January? Of course. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was called to the Louvre's Grand Gallery, don't question this accent, by one of the King's Royal Guards.
Did he just say o'clock?
There was a Prince Juan, King Louis Philippe, the corpse of Major Hal, and the rose in hand, and around 24 citizens. The citizens and the king himself all attest to seeing Major Hal taking the rose from Prince Juan's hand and then promptly dropping dead. And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse? The coroner determined with absolute certainty that Major Hal died of poisoning. Aside from a prick upon the finger, there was no sign of external harm to Major Hal's body. Therefore, the poisoned rose must have been the cause of death. Putting the pieces together, that does seem very implicative of the prince. I have no further questions. Damn, I was hoping that the coroner's report would determine that the guy died from a freak heart attack or something.
That will make for a particularly speedy trial, wouldn't it? But no, we aren't so lucky. Something else must be amiss in the old Burns testimony.
Right, I'll tear it apart, because we're in a game. Your Honor, I wish to cross-examine the witness. Fucking was it? Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand. I wouldn't accuse the inspector of lying. I just want to make sure that every base is properly covered. This sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it for now. Go on, Falcon, do your cross-examination. Yeah, bitch. Major Hal. Okay, let's see. Inspector, I would like to ask you about the victim, Major Hal. Who was he? It's curious. We spent our whole investigation focusing on the murder, but I still don't know much about the victim himself. Exactly who was Major Hal? He was a royal guard, a well-respected dog who was getting on in the years. I was not friends with the man, but I had met him on several occasions in the past, at banquets and royal meetings of the sort. Major Hal was a stern, no-nonsense fellow, but he was a good man. His wife and children no doubt miss him. No doubt. Thank you for the insight, Inspector. No. Let's see. 24 citizens. Inspector, you say there were around 24 citizens, all of whom attest to seeing my client deliver the poisoned rose.
Oh boy, when you put it like that, our situation seems a little dire, doesn't it?
Correct. We collected precisely 22 testimonies, and there were no major inconsistencies. Are the testimonies trustworthy? What exactly did they say? I would like some further details. What exactly did the testimonies say? Each citizen attested to seeing the king and his entourage approaching the new painting in the Grand Gallery. They each heard the king deliver a short speech, which was on the subject of progress and societal improvements and whatnot. There was some applause. Then Prince Juan stepped out of the crowd and approached the king with a rose in his hand. Each person then saw Major Hal take the rose from Prince Juan, and each person saw Major Hal promptly drop dead. I see. Some of the descriptions of the man's death were quite graphic. He convulsed, twisted, and spasmed, said one witness. His mouth frothed like he was a rabid lunatic, said another. Thank you, Inspector. I think we get the picture. No. Okay. Poisoning. Inspector, you say that the coroner determined with certainty that Major Hal was killed by poison. Correct! He stated that signs and symptoms were textbook. There is no possibility that his death was natural. What kind of poison was it? Did the coroner mention specifically what kind of poison it was? He was not certain. At first, the coroner posited that it was a plant-borne poison, like that of the aconite flower. But when he learned how fast the poison had taken effect, he noticed that this was atypical of aconite. Consequently, he suggested that it may have been some newly engineered concoction. Newly engineered poison, you say? Well, that only reaffirms that this was a very deliberate assassination attempt. Indeed. Do you have another question about the poison? Yes. They say that he was poisoned via the rose. How exactly was Major Hal poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism? His finger was pricked by the poisoned rose. He even commented out loud about it seconds before dying. All 22 citizens who witnessed the murder attested to seeing and hearing this. Is there any possibility that he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to ask, JJ. You just had that 22 people saw the victim prick his finger and die. What are you suggesting, that the pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? Well... Genuinely don't fucking know. We have no proof that this chocolate may have been poisoned. We don't even know who bought the chocolate. This is the only lead I have for now. We don't have that much evidence. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that Major Hal was poisoned, but I do doubt that the rose was the cause. Unbelievable. Only a total buffoon could fail to draw a blatant link here. JJ, as tempting as it is to sit here and lecture you on the basics of cause and effect, I'll end this discussion painlessly. Inspector, please tell the defense that you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. That should alleviate all doubt that the rose was in fact the poison delivery mechanism. There we go, okay. Actually, I can't tell him that. I tried to ask, but why not? We didn't check the rose for traces of poison. It just seemed obvious that the rose caused the poisoning, given the timing of the incident. Well, then now would be a good time to make a test. Here's a marvelous thought. We prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there is no poison on the rose, then Prince Juan lives, and he's free to go. I mean, that is such a fallacy. The poison could have no effect. It's been, what, 6 days since then? If the rose is poisoned, then the prince dies. But that's okay, because the punishment would be just and fitting the crime. A marvelous suggestion. What is this, a witch trial? This isn't America, Severin. That's not how we do things here. Calm your feathers, JJ. He was clearly in joke. There are far more humane ways of testing for poison. I'm sure that the inspector will perform his duty in due diligence. Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poisoning at all. Why is that? Given the dangerous nature of a flower, it was destroyed by the police force. We burned it to ashes. The fuck? Such unprofessionalism. We have no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, and this whole trial ought to be called into question. Nice try, JJ, but through the process of reasoning by elimination, we can still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else at the crime scene that could have caused the poisoning. Wrong! There was something else at the crime scene that could have contained the poison, something the investigative police blindly overlooked. Look at this! What am I supposed to be looking at? It is the paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre, the Salle de Type to be precise, and we can date its consumption to the day of the incident. You're not suggesting that Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died? I most certainly am. Intriguing, pretty convincing. Yeah, boy. Did you see this rapport at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector? The police force does not have the time nor resources to troll every piece of trash at every crime scene, I'm afraid. In other words, you overlooked it. Astounding unprofessionalism. The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display. Inspector, I offer my apologies to Your Honor. I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damn job properly. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself. As you wish, I'll take my leave. Until next time, messieurs. So let me get this straight. This chocolate wrapper was found at the crime scene? Correct. And you have a reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident? I do. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify if need be.
You have a foodie witness? I don't recall anyone like that. Who on earth are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see.
How do you know for certain that Major Howell consumed this chocolate? Well, that is a fact we are still investigating. I see. And do you have evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned? Again, that is something that may require a little more time to definitively prove. So then in actuality you do not have evidence that Major Howell consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak even for you, JJ. Fuck off. Let's move things along. I have another witness that I would like to summon. He's a man who claims to have an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. I call upon Monsieur Toussaint Knightley. Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath? Who the fuck? Hello. Alright, the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Please state your full name and occupation for the court record. My name is Toussaint Knightley. I'm a person who fishes. Person who fishes. So you are a fisherman. Oh, is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. I beg your pardon. Here comes Toussaint Kingsley, the kingfisher. Clearly he must be a fisherman, because, didn't you hear? All kingfishers are fishermen.
Well, you are carrying a fishing rod.
And? Can man not carry a fishing rod, reel, and bait without being branded as a fisherman? Look! The prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly he must be a horse jockey. Oh, for pity's sake, fine. We can list your occupation as person who fishes, and not fisherman. Thank you. Actually, why do you carry riding crop, Severin? I've never seen you ride a horse. I don't know, Judgy. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? What the fuck? This is veering quite far off the course. Could the prosecution please get back to his questions? Of course, Your Honor. Monsieur Kingsley, is it true that you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes, I was sitting upon a railing on the Pont des Arts. The Pont des Arts. That's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw from the Louvre's south entrance, correct? That's right. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? I was fishing.
Kingfishers, am I right, Falcon?
So, you would have had plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw? Well, the Louvre's a busy place. Naturally, so a lot of people. But in I saw the king, Louis Philippe himself, enter the building. He was surrounded by his entourage, of course. Then around 9:30 a.m., I saw this shifty-looking fox lurking around the entrance. Your Honor, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. It's a vague and biased description. Not really. No, really. He looked super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. And then I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. What the fuck? Rub the stem of a rose, you say? As if he were applying something to the flower, perhaps? Well, monsieur, I really shouldn't speculate. Of course. It was wrong of me to ask such a leading question. But yeah, it definitely looked like he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Wow. Even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like what we have here is a direct witnessing of the defendant readying the murder weapon. The defense claims that the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own hands. With his own eyes, what the fuck? Apparently kingfishers have eyes on their hands.
I smell perjury.
You do?
Now question. You saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime. That's not believable at all.
I think you might be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Toussaint's story into doubt. Your Honor, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Really? This nonsense again? You just heard the witness directly describe your client readying poison on the rose. What is there to question? I'm just trying to uncover the truth, Your Honor. Fine, do your thing. Go on, Falcon. Go make a fool out of yourself. Great. It is my right to make a fool out of myself. Sitting at the Pont d'Art. Monsieur Kingley, you say that you were sitting upon the railings of the Pont d'Art on the morning of the incident.
Yep.
What entrances can you see from that bridge? Monsieur Kingley, you had a good view of the Louvre's south entrance, didn't you? Yep, the Pont d'Art is a great vantage point for seeing the Grand Gallery's south entrance. God, I wish we had the map in our items. Oh, here it is, Pont d'Art. Right, okay. So, he was sitting somewhere here. Yeah, you can see it. Huh, okay. What about the other entrances? The other entrances? You mean like if you were entering from Tuileries Garden or the Palace de Carrousel? No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course that isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingley witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with flower in hand, and that's what counts. What if Prince Juan used another entrance? What if Prince Juan didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from the Place de Carrousel, Tuileries Garden? Above or below? Tuileries Gardens to the west? It's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that Prince Juan entered the Louvre from Tuileries Garden? As a matter of fact, I do. I have definitive proof that Prince Juan approached from the west, not the south. Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I'm doubtful to go on, Judge. Show us this definitive proof that Prince Juan entered from the Louvre from Tuileries Garden into the Louvre, I guess. Look at this. A book page. Page 44 of Don Quixote, specifically. It was found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. This proves nothing. I'm not done yet. Take a look at this. Don Quixote. This is the book Prince Juan has been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he has had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. You do realize what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in Tuileries Garden prior to entering the Louvre. This also means that, in all likelihood, the defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, not the south. He could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingley from the Pont d'Art. What? I know what I saw, monsieur. Fine theory, Falcon, but maybe the defendant took the long way round. One can still travel from Tuileries to the Louvre's south entrance by walking along the river. An extra 2 kilometers of walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery. Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Okay, maybe the defendant deliberately left the page there to mislead the investigation. Now you're the one who's blindly speculating. It's not blind speculation. It's a viable hypothesis. You're fond of logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Let's talk about Occam's razor. When torn between two seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with the one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Which of these theories takes fewer assumptions? 1. The page from Prince Juan's book fell out on his way to the Louvre's south entrance. 2. Prince Juan deliberately planted the page on the off chance that it would be discovered, and he took the long way round. Oh, damn you, the nerve of you to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts. I'll stop lecturing you when you stop making such basic mistakes. Monsieur Falcon, please calm yourself. What is the point of all this yammering? The ultimate point is that Hussein's testimony is fabricated, made up, utter fiction. No, everything I've said is the truth. I suspect that the witness isn't even a fisherman. I am not a fisherman. See, he admits it himself. That's not what I meant. Innocent, perhaps? What a twist. Prosecutor, you have something that will put this arrogant falcon in his place, don't you? I must concede. You concede? On this point, at least, Falcon's evidence strongly suggests that the key component of Monsieur Kingsley's testimony is false. Ah, no! This doesn't mean that Prince Juan is innocent, of course. All Falcon has demonstrated is that this particular witness is unreliable. But I did see something, I really did. Alright, so maybe I didn't exactly see a shifty-looking fox. I made that part of the story up. But I did see a swan lurking around the sound entrance on the morning of the murder. What the fuck? A swan? Do shut up, witness. Oh, whoa. What a twist indeed. Your word is mud at this point. How can we possibly trust anything you have to say?
Your Honor, Judge Romulus, we're out of time. We're 10 minutes overdue to start on the hare versus tortoise trial.
It's that late already. Curses. I was hoping we could have the case wrapped up in a single trial session. It is a shame, but ultimately an accurate sentencing is always preferable to a speedy sentencing. Well, at least we can agree on that. Yes, all right, I don't need to hear you moralizing. Court will resume this Friday, the 21st of January at 9 o'clock. Don't be late. Prosecutor, do your damn job. Get this stupid fox a conviction already. I'll do my best to ensure that justice is served, Your Honor.
A lot came up in that trial, huh?
Yeah, no doubt about that.
But something's bothering me. Why would that fisherman guy, Monsieur Kingsley, lie on the witness stand?
Maybe he likes attention. He was coerced, clearly. Well, it's possible that he was coerced or bribed.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up a story about Prince Juan.
Let's keep up an open mind. Anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. Well, all of these. Judge Romulus? Judge Romulus is acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is in discovering the truth, but why?
Maybe he has a vendetta against Spanish royalty?
I'm not so sure. There must be something else at work here. Oh, it's mousy, isn't it?
Excuse me. Excuse me, Monsieur Falcon.
Sorry to bother you, but this letter just arrived. I think it's for you. Why is this Falcon? Oh my god. Is this a blackmail letter? Look at this. Look at the font of this. A letter for me? I wonder why it wasn't sent to my office.
Have you been demoted to courier status report? Oh, hush, Sparson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout.
Oh my god.
Ooh, good comeback. So what does the letter say, Falcon?
It's a threat. A threat made with cut-out newspaper letters.
Well, I didn't know those things actually existed. Let me see.
Falcon! Stop your investigation or there will be consequences. Why did you have to read it like that? Scary. There is no question that this letter originated from Major Howell's murderer. He or she must be aware that we are getting close to uncovering the truth.
Sounds about right, but why would a person write with cut-out newspaper letters like this?
Maybe one's handwriting could be the most common reason. Although, I can't help but wonder why they would bother since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare to.
We're still going ahead with our investigation though, right?
Nope! You can just say nope? You bet. Oh yes, absolutely. We will die on this hill. And then they kill Sparrows and we're like, fuck! If a lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they would never get any work done. Besides, with only 3 days before the next trial session, we can't afford to be worrying about petty little things like this.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow, you're right. Let's make those days count.
A new day. Brilliant. Alright, this is a great place to end it here for now. The plot thickens. I mean, the way things are headed now, it seems like Mademoiselle Singh is the one that attempted to murder the king, but we don't know enough yet. Either way, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.